What's up? What's up? What's up? It's been a minute. Boxing Sweet Science, Marshall Brown, your esteemed host. It's been a minute, but I'm back. Ready to talk boxing. I'm going to be live with Michael Rivera, a.k.a. Michael Ali, soon, very shortly. So if you interested in seeing the champ and you want, well, not the champ, but the future champ, if you're interested in seeing him and getting to know him, join in because I'm going to be talking to him soon. I know it's been a minute. I haven't been doing this. Been focused on my kids, my business, work, and all that stuff. But I'm back. I'm focused, and I want to talk boxing, man. I want to talk boxing. Hey, how you doing? I'm supposed to be going live with Michael Rivera, aka Michael Ali, at 5 p.m. Yeah. Tank versus Keith. What I don't understand is this. Why does everybody say Tank is too big for 130, but they want to put him in at 135? I mean, at 147 with a guy who's a natural 147 pounder. Why can't the guy catch a break? Why can't he beat guys at 130, 135, 140? Right? He did 140 because he wanted to move up and prove something. So he did that. Why you got to put him in with a guy like Keith Thurman? I mean, it makes good sense, but let the guy fight at 130. He's a 130-pound fighter. He's explained that to me on many occasions. I'm a 130-pound fighter, but I can fight at different weight classes. Why would we want to make him fight at 147? I just don't see the business in it. I mean, I could see the legacy portion of making him fight at 140 for another title. That's cool. But Keith Thurman really doesn't offer a title. It'll just be a fight. And for me, fights have to make sense. And not just financially. They just have to make sense. So I'm not a fan of just putting a guy in because you want to see him tested against bigger guys. It just doesn't make sense to me. The shit got to make sense. I mean, I'm from Brooklyn. This is what we say. Make that shit make sense. It doesn't make sense for Gervonta Davis at a 130-pound fighter who has made 147, made 140, made 130, 35 to fight at 147. For me, it's just stupid. I'm sure he can do it. But it just doesn't make sense. Fights have to make sense. And it seems like to me that everybody wants to push the envelope on Gervonta Davis, but keep the same status quo for everybody else. Everybody else can stay in the division, right? And they just should be able to fight who they want. But Gervonta Davis, the bar has been set so high for him where he has to go fight a 147-pounder, a killer, and Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, let's be honest here. Keith Thurman only had one loss. He has close fights, but one loss to a legend, Manny Pacquiao. So, I mean, let's keep it 100. Like, Keith Thurman is dangerous, right? So, I mean, Gervonta can crack, but it just doesn't add up for me. Let the guy fight guys that is competitively close to his weight class. So, like I said, I'm live because I'm supposed to be chopping it up with Michael Rivera. I don't know where he is, but I like doing this. So I'm back. I'm going to start doing this more often. I'm going to be back active, live. So I told those boys get their stuff together because I'm coming. I told them I'm coming. So I'm back. I got some big guests coming, real big names signed up, ready to go with me. And I'm going to be focusing most of my energies on YouTube. But I'll be live and I'll just take everything from live and then I'll put it to YouTube. But I like interacting with the people that follow me and support me. So that's why I'm coming live to do it. Because I could do most of the interviews on YouTube. But I love the interaction with Instagram since they stole my last account. Well, they ain't steal it, but they I don't know, they took it away from me. So talk to me. What until Michael come, talk to me. What y'all want to talk about? What y'all want to chat about? Arthur Macantee, what's up, man? Hey, Arthur, see if you can send me a request. Let me see. I got a request. I'm going to accept you. We've been trying. Yeah, they disabled it. Whatever they did, they stole it from me. I'm going to try to accept you, Arthur. Finally.
Hey, champ.
Finally. I got the man here.
I may be looking a little sweaty. I'm in my basement working out, champ.
Oh, okay, good. So how you doing, man?
All right. I just watched your last interview. I just switched over to you. I agree with you. But you remember when a young Leon Spinks beat an old Muhammad Ali, and then what happened after that? Ali got a rematch and beat the young Spinks.
And I agree. I agree. So when I was talking to Coach Anthony, he's saying that, Manny might be over the hill. And I believe you can't say a guy's over the hill until boxing decides that for him, right?
Right.
His last two performances, he was above par, right? He looked great in his performance. We didn't see any age in him, no timing off, anything. So why would we argue that he's over the hill now because he's fighting Errol Spence? That's not fair to Spence.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I agree. I agree with you. It's a young but he just he looked good against Garcia after getting in that bad car accident.
So there's no debate here. We shouldn't be. I don't like to take a fighter's accolades or away from them because someone didn't or doesn't fit the bill. For example, you don't say that Manny is old because you just think that he should lose to Errol Spence. Boxing has to decide that for us, right? He has to get in there and have either a subpar performance or a great performance. And based off that, we'll see that age. And I use the example of Bernard Hopkins, right? He looked great in his prior fights, but when he got in that last fight with Smith and he got knocked out the ring, for me, that was boxing telling him, bro, it's time to hang it up.
Correct. Yep.
And he heeded the calling. So if Errol Spence is capable of putting out a type of performance that will make Manny Pacquiao reconsider his career, because he said it. He's actually pondering. He said, listen, we don't know if this is my last one or if I'll continue to go. And and what he's doing, he don't want his body to tell him. He waiting for boxing to tell him that it's over for you.
It's sad in a way. It's like I remember my idol as a kid growing up. One was Ali, and the second one was Sugar Ray Leonard. And I remember I'd refereed Leonard Terry Norris in Madison Square Garden back in, I think the fight might have been 1999.
Right.
Terry Norris was the younger man.
Right.
He beat Ray. After the fight, Ray did a whole thing about he's retiring. And then came out 6 months later and fought a young, ambitious Macho Camacho and was embarrassed. You know what it is? I think a lot of times these guys miss the glamour, their names being in. Now, George Foreman came back at age 53. He fought. Didn't he beat?
That's right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he beat Michael Moore? Knocked him
out
in the last round.
Right.
So I mean, you never know when that man calls for your time up there. It's your time. It's
your time. So let me ask you a question, Mr. Macantee.
You could call me Arthur.
All right, Arthur. What was the most exciting fight? If you had to choose out of all the ones that you refereed, which one stood out to you the most?
Ray Mercer, Lennox Lewis.
And why?
It was just two big heavyweights, and they were going toe to toe. And you haven't seen that in a long time in the heavyweight division. Guys tie up and hold, and you got to go in and break. I didn't have to work that hard. You say break, they both stepped back. They respected me, and that was one of my favorable fights.
Right. So, what was one of your least favorite fights? Do you like which one would you consider your least favorite fight to referee? The type of fight, not you don't have to name names, but the type of fight to referee.
I'm hard on myself. I'm second generation. My father told me I spent 5 years in the amateurs refereeing until my father turned me pro in '84. And my toughest fight was Donnie Lalonde, Mustafa Hamshaw. I don't know if you remember Donnie Lalonde, a former hockey player.
No, I don't.
Mustafa Hamshaw. One of the dirtiest fights I've ever, my first major fight. And I'll never forget, Garasolo Cup man Al Gavin came in the ring and said, son, you're just like your father. You proved yourself tonight. The way you handle both these guys, they're animals, they're dirty. And that was one of my toughest fights, I'd have to say.
Right. So, if you had to pick, I'm going to put you on a spot here.
No problem.
And you're looking at the Wilder Fury 3. How do you think that goes?
You know what? Don't know when that fight's going to happen. I would prefer at this time, if you respect it, I don't want to discuss it just in case I get a call directly.
Yeah, you got my right.
That's what I got.
That's not fair, right?
I did Wilder and Stavern.
Right.
And boy, That was.
But yeah, I remember that. I remember that
What,
one. Yeah,
what
yeah.
gets me is this kid Severn went 12 rounds with him, and
The first time.
the next time in rematch, he looked like he wasn't even there.
Right. So what do you think it was? What do you think? Do you think it was Wilder got better, or Stavern just couldn't take it?
I don't think he landed, and I give Mark Breland so much credit. You know, I don't know. You know, Mark Breland.
Right.
I refereed one of his amateur fights. Classy guy, very quiet.
Yeah.
I thought he was a hell of an amateur fighter, and I respected him for what he did when Dante fought Fury.
Right.
But when he fought, when we're going back to the fight that I did, he threw that vicious right hand. It was like an old Mark Breland's right hand. Went right through the guy's defense. He cracked, and I think Stavern didn't have it after that.
Yeah, he was done. And I saw you swing. He swung you around trying to stop him.
Well, he wanted to give him another shot, and I grabbed him from behind.
Yeah, yeah.
I see him every now and then. He jokes with me. We're going for another bull ride, ref.
That's interesting, man. I mean, what? So my question now becomes, when is your book coming out?
You know, we pushed my father. I got friends of mine doing that. I got a long way to go here.
But listen, the stories that you can tell,
yes,
and from your father's generation down to you, the fights that you refereed, I mean, it would make a good read.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you know, boxing books don't really sell, but it's not because my father's book. I got fellows call me, where can we get your father's book? I think it's still out there on Amazon.
Right.
But, you know, for some reason, they do not sell.
If you have a story,
you
chronicle each experience. I'm not telling you how to do this,
but
I can tell you what these people.
You're brilliant. Hey, I love listening to you. You're brilliant.
All right. But if you chronicle each experience and you started from, like, I could see the chapters right now. Ali versus so-and-so, so-and-so. Each one and your experience, your day leading up to that big fight. All the press leading up. When you got the call that you're going to referee that fight.
No, my father did. My father did Ali Frazier.
Right. So, I mean, even if you get these kind of, like, you can go back to those memories and jog those and write your experience of how you felt being around that. I guarantee you, people would gravitate to it and they would read it. If you did it, Ali versus so-and-so, Lennox Lewis versus so-and-so, and what you did, how you felt leading up to that fight, and your experience after it, what happened, and what about the one where you had to testify?
Dude, yeah. You remember that fight, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So
that was Lewis Holyfield, and we just had.
That's right.
I just went up to Boston. I went up to Springfield, Mass, the MG up there, and refereed a fight there, and all the commissions were asking, and I said, you know, I had to go to a hearing, and look, you have 3 judges. Go back to the old days. Let the referee score the fight, and with the way they have these decisions, let's see how he could be like a tiebreaker. The deciding fact. They agreed with it back then, but it fell on deaf ears.
So imagine, because people are still advocating for that, because the judging is horrible now. The judging is horrible now. So if you had, and I just don't understand the logic in not doing what you suggest. You're there. Yeah. You can see what punches landed, what punches didn't, for what round, what activity, who was the aggressor, who wasn't. I just don't understand how the judges get it so wrong. And do you think, and being careful with your answer, you don't have to, do you think that judges should be given a physical the same way fighters are prior to a fight, making sure that the eyes are good and all that stuff?
You know, I don't know about a judge, because the judge just sits and scores a fight. Me, God rest his soul, I come from good genes, but here, I tune into you when I work out. I'm in the gym working out right now at home. I got my own private gym. I work out at home. It is definitely, to stay in condition, to be in the ring, you have to. Outside, of gym, I don't know, but maybe what they should do, like with referees, we have seminars. I know they have judges seminars, but maybe have more than 1 or 2 a year.
Hold them accountable. I think judges need to be held. Referees are held accountable.
Right. Well,
judges need to be held accountable, you know, because you're talking about taking a fighter's life, in essence. Like, for example, the Rollies fight. I don't know if you remember that. Rollies and the kid that he fought where they robbed the kid and gave Rollies that fight. Like, when you look at those kind of fights and you see how momentum can be stopped from a guy who's on his trajectory is leading him to the top, but judging steals that from him. I think there needs to be some accountability. I think people need to be held accountable. And I think boxing has to have decisions reversed. And I think instant replays should be instituted in every state, not in just some states, to be fair.
Yeah, I know it's in Vegas. In Mohegan Sun, they do a great job. Like, I was up there in the bubble for 4 months straight going up there. And I think it might have been the Broner fight I did where he knocked the kid down.
Right.
It didn't go down. They thought his glove touched. The commissioner jumped up right away, did a great job, said, time, hold all cards, Arthur, hold all cards. It only took them about 5 seconds to make the decision. And that's what I think. Like, some states, you see where it takes them 30 minutes, 30 seconds, or not.
And they still get it wrong.
It takes forever for them to make a decision.
Right. And some of them still get it incorrect. But I would say that it should be mandated because people are not taking these fighters very serious. They're not taking them. Their lives are on the line. They risk it all for a title shot, for opportunity, and for, I mean, judges are human. They're fans, right? And if they don't like a fighter's personality, that can affect scoring. Right. Right? Yeah. I mean, they're human. They're not robots. So if a guy is rambunctious and boisterous and they don't like them, that can affect things. We need to have these judges held to some standard so that we can justify some of these scores. The cards are so far apart. How do you see that? I'm like, what fight did they watch?
Right. Well, see, like I said, a lot of people think I'm in the ring. I've heard when I was refereeing amateurs in Colorado Springs when Mike Tyson was there. I'll tell you an old story. I'm in the locker room. 2 lockers over, there's 2 other officials up there. And they don't know I'm in there. And they say, this Macantee Jr. comes up here and he's refereeing the finals because of his father. So now I got ticked off. I didn't say anything. I went to one of the supervisors. Can I ask you a personal question? Sure. So what's up? I said, is it because my father's name I'm refereeing the finals? Son, when you came up here, didn't you see how all the head officials gravitated when you were refereeing a fight to watch how you worked? The guys who you heard have been coming up there for years, and they don't deserve to do a finals bout. You got it under your merit and your quality and your work, the way your work ethic is in the ring. So don't listen. You're going to hear it for the rest of your life. And that's what gets me, because I spent 5 years in the amateurs.
Right.
My father made it mandatory. When I'm ready to turn you pro, you'll turn pro.
Right.
I'm telling every judge or every referee to do that, but maybe spend a year in the amateurs judging. If you feel you're ready, like I didn't get paid my first 3 fights until they felt I was ready. And then, like you know, it's a tough call because with a referee and the judges, there is no union. And baseball umpires, football referees, they have a union where they're making good money. Like you mentioned earlier before, we got guys' lives on our hands. Like my father, when he did Ali and Frazier, you'll laugh. You may fall off your seat, but he only got $750 when both those men made $2.3 million.
And that was closed circuit TV too.
Yeah.
Wow.
What you're saying with the judges and all that, I think they should spend at least a year maybe getting critiqued when they go to the pros. And if you feel a guy is ready to do an elite fight, put him in there.
Right. So, but you see all the information that you just espoused right now? Imagine that in the book. That's information that most people would never know.
Maybe I'll have you write it for me.
Hey, listen, we just brokered a deal right now. That's easy money, baby. You talk to me and I'll type it.
I got a student coming in about 5 minutes. I got to get, I'm training.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got to jump off. I got to take my son to football practice. But I appreciate you, and I've been waiting to talk to you for a minute. We're going to catch up again.
Check the videos out on my Instagram site. You'll see some good videos of the kids I train.
For sure. I'll repost him. Thank you. Thank you so
Hey,
much.
you stay strong. God bless.
You too, man. Be safe out there.
All the safe.
All right.